On that, we go to Jason Smith. He is the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, a very, very important committee. Chairman, always good to have you. We were just hearing about this extra spending the president's planning to forgive student loan debt. We talked about the $1 trillion in added debt just over the last 6 months, the first 6 months of the fiscal year. And along comes Austin Goolsbee from the Chicago Fed saying, that's still a pretty tough environment. What do you think?
This is the wrong decision. Inflation has gone up, 19.4% since Joe Biden's taken the oath of office. And like the reporter was talking about in the prior segment, inflation was 1.4% and 11 consecutive months before that under 2% before Joe Biden took office. What led to the skyrocketing inflation was the $10 trillion of new spending on top of just funding government that Joe Biden passed in just his first 2 years in office.
Still, Chairman, and you talk about how anemic it was in those last 12 months of the Trump administration. If memory serves me right, COVID was going on. The economy had sort of stopped, to put it mildly. I'm not putting that on the prior president or what's happened since on the new president. I am saying, though, that you're going to have a spike in activity and prices coming after that. And maybe the spending, to your point, certainly added to that. I'm just wondering what happens now, though, because the Federal Reserve is the only game in town to try to get it under control by raising rates. They've done that a lot. Now it's slowing down. They might not be able to do it because it's coming back. What do you think happens to the economy?
I'm quite concerned with the economy. As noted, interest rates are the highest they've been in 23 years. That's having a drastic impact on working families and small businesses. You see now there's more than $1 trillion worth of credit card debt, the most ever in the history of the United States. That is not a good recipe for a good economy. And unfortunately, the president, his plan is to increase taxes. In fact, in his budget, he suggested increasing $7 trillion worth of taxes.
Let me get another news development in this battle over FISA and funding it. And, obviously, President Trump isn't too keen on that. He'll be meeting with Speaker Johnson in Mar-a-Lago later today. Is there a rumble in your ranks, sir? I mean, is there sharp division at that among Republicans? This is a very big wedge issue for Republicans. Is it for you?
A sharp division on what item, Neil?
Well, particularly on FISA and security and all of that. And I'm just seeing there's an interim measure to try to bring it back and to make sure it can be refunded and reinstated. But are you worried that, because Donald Trump has made it clear he doesn't want you to do that it's not going to happen?
Donald Trump is the leader of the Republican Party, and the Republicans definitely are independent thinkers, and we have different ways that we look at it. But what Donald Trump says has a huge impact, Neil, because he is the leader of the Republican Party. He's going to be the next president.
Chairman, you're no slouch. You're the House Ways and Means Committee. I mean, he isn't president yet. I understand he's the leader, but do you think that's a mistake? Some of your colleagues said that goes too far. We respect Donald Trump. Hope he becomes president, but we don't think that's the right approach, especially at this time with all these terror threats.
Neil, when you're looking at the discussion right now, you have Jim Jordan, who has the authorizing committee of judiciary that is over FISA, and you have Chairman Turner, who's over the Intelligence Committee. Those two members, who are committee chairmen and leaders in the Republican Party, are divided, and they have good arguments on each side. And so it is very good that we are independent thinkers and we can have this debate and decide which one. Are we going with the Jim Jordan side or the Mike Turner side? All
right. Now, I know there are many more. You're no slouch here. So how would you break the tie yourself?
Well, for one, I voted to make sure warrants were allowed on any U.S. citizen. And that amendment, unfortunately, fell 212 to 212 while we were on this interview.
Right. I just heard that. So let me get your take then, if I can, on this meeting. Donald Trump is going to have Mike Johnson. Some say he's not long for this job. He could get the Kevin McCarthy treatment and go. How do you feel about that?
Mike Johnson is a very good man. He's working very hard. He has to navigate through this very razor-thin majority, and he's doing the best job that he possibly can. He has great relationships with the members. That's why he got the job. And he has a great relationship with the former president. So I think he's the right leader at the right time.
All right. So you think this push to push him out isn't going to go anywhere?
I would never forecast anything. This Congress has been a little bit expect the unexpected. I never thought Kevin McCarthy would be forced out. I didn't think 8 Republicans would join with every Democrat to remove a Republican sitting speaker.
Yeah, you're not the only one, Chairman. Thank you very much, sir. I hope you have a safe weekend. Good seeing you again.
Thank you, Neil.